The following is a presentation of Muddy River Sports.
Welcome to another episode of Schuck on a Truck. I'm Muddy River Sports editor Matt Schuckman. And as you can see, we're actually not on the tailgate of the pickup. I thought it might be a little too much to ask this lady to climb up on the tailgate, but we wanted to celebrate Mother's Day in the right way. So this is my mom, Kathleen Schuckman. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Matt.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Thanks for doing this.
I'm glad to do it for you.
Yeah.
I bailed you out more than once.
You bailed me out a few times over the years, so that's good. But we wanted to celebrate Mother's Day for all the moms out there. And I thought, what a better way than to celebrate my mom. You've done a lot for all 6 of us kids and all of our extended family. Mm-hmm. So you deserve this. Now, I got to ask, though, the Kansas City Chiefs shirt?
Sure. It was a present from, I'm not going to say my favorite son, my youngest son.
Your favorite son, let's say it. Yep, no. The rest of the kids, the rest of my siblings they all know I'm your favorite, so that's okay, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, though, that's your Patrick Mahomes shirt?
Right.
Now, how did you become a Kansas City Chiefs fan?
Well, there wasn't anybody left to root for.
Right.
Everybody left St. Louis, and I just had never... And I don't know, we just watched the game one Sunday, and I really liked him, and I thought, that's my friend. And I love to watch football, so
True.
I like to have somebody to root for.
Well, because
I didn't want to root for the Cowboys.
Come on now. But going back in the day, you were a St. Louis Cardinals fan, a big Red fan.
Oh, a long time.
Jim Hart was your favorite player back in the day, right?
Yeah, probably.
One of them?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then you were a Rams fan?
Yeah. And I've even got a Christmas ornament. God, I can't think of his name now. Kurt
Warner. Yep. So, always been a football fan, always been a baseball fan too, and that's the one thing I remember growing up is not only was I a huge Cardinals fan growing up, but a lot of that came from you growing up listening to the Cardinals on the radio.
Right.
Now, they actually had radios back in that day?
Yes, they had radio. We didn't have TV, but we had radios.
And you listened to the Cardinals on the radio?
Yes.
Enos Slaughter.
Red
Shandy's was the one that...
Musial.
Yep.
My cousin actually dated Red Shandy's cousin.
Right. So all kinds of interesting little connections.
Yeah.
Okay, what was it about the Cardinals growing up that you enjoyed?
Probably just one thing is because they're close to home, but they just, I don't know, there were so many fascinating stories. I think so many good players.
Yeah. Well, and you had the opportunity to hear about Red Shandy's and about Stan Musial. And we recently did an episode of our podcast, The List, where we talked about our top 10 favorite Cardinals of all time. And I didn't put Musial or Shane Dienst on my list because I never saw him play. I limited my list to the players I saw or have seen to this date. But I think anybody would put those two on their all-time Cardinal list.
Yeah.
Now, besides baseball and football, obviously you like all sports, and all of us kids played sports growing up. But outdoors has been a big thing. And one of the things that I grew up, obviously hunting and fishing with Dad, but bird watching with you. When did that start for you? Like, how did you get interested in bird watching?
My mother was very, very big on bird watching.
Okay.
And now one of my sisters is really big on it, much more than I am. She keeps her lifetime list and all of that.
Eileen.
Yeah. But
Eileen Owens, that's a shout out to you.
Anyway, I love watching the birds. And the bird feeder right out this window.
Right.
And your dad, I've gotten your dad into, he sits and watches them too. And we just enjoyed that. I've got a little story about bird watching.
Okay, go for it.
We were at Springs, and you were some curly-headed little boy. It was about 3 or 4, maybe.
Okay.
And we were sitting beside a little stream, and I don't know what the older kids were doing, if they were waiting or waiting or something. All of a sudden, my bird book was in the water.
I don't have a clue how that happened.
Well, I don't know either. But, I think I still had it till recently.
I was going to say, that bird book, I remember looking at the bird book with you over the years. You and I, as I grew and became an adult, you and I would go out to Siloam Springs, just the two of us. We did a picnic lunch out there and went bird watching. Because you got all of us kids interested. My sisters have stated, my sister Teresa probably more so than anybody, in the bird watching and stuff. But I know I'm able to, when I see birds in our backyard or if I'm out at Siloam Springs or anywhere and I see birds, I can point them out and tell people, oh, that's that kind of bird because of you.
Well, and one of your great nephews, one of my great grandsons,
Yeah.
was here one day and was describing this bird to me that he had seen. So I went and got my bird book and let him look through it. And I still have several bird books, so I let him take it home. Now, whether he's still
That's neat.
like that was Eli.
Yeah, well, and that's the cool thing about those kind of generational traditions that you can pass down. There's so many in every family that you can pass down, but the love of outdoors has obviously carried over from you and Dad and his brothers and sisters. You know, that generation to my generation of my siblings to now the next generation of grandkids and great grandkids.
Yeah.
How fun is that for you to see the family traditions that get passed down?
Oh, it's great.
From generations.
It's great. It really is. And it's such a fun thing because you don't need much money to do it. You get out in the fresh air when you're bird watching. It's and enjoy nature and enjoy God's gifts, and it's just easy to do.
This is Schuck on a Truck, brought to you by Shottenkirk Toyota. If you want a truck, head out to Shottenkirk. They'll hook you up. Hopefully they're going to hook me up at some point with a new truck. I'm going to need one soon because we'll be back on the tailgate after this. But this is a special one. This is one that we had to do because, well, it's my mom. And it's Mother's Day this weekend. And we got to celebrate all the moms, right? All the moms, not just you.
That's right.
We'll celebrate you a little bit.
There's lots of moms in our family now.
There's lots of moms in our family and lots of sports moms out there. And that's
yes.
That's the cool thing for me is getting to know the parents of the athletes that I coach or that I write about, and get to know the coaches and their wives and the parents, because the moms have such a huge impact on all of these kids, whether it's as taxis, as doing laundry, as just being their biggest fan, their biggest supporter. There's just moms play a huge part in all of our success. Your mom played a huge part in your success, didn't she?
Yeah, she did.
The Nezer?
Yeah.
Her name was Inez.
Yes, she did.
So, what do you like about when the holidays come around, whether it's Mother's Day, Father's Day, or the biggies, Christmas, Thanksgiving? What do you like about the holidays?
I love, because a lot of times I see more of the family than I see any other time. I think that's probably the biggest thing, is just seeing them. And my great-grandchildren especially are growing so fast. Well,
and the cool thing about your great-grandchildren is they're kind of following the family traditions of they're involved in the outdoors. They're involved in sports. And that's the neat thing, is having watched my nieces and nephews and now my great-nieces and nephews participate in sports at multiple schools throughout this area and beyond, because some have moved away. But it's neat to see the family line and be able to go to a game and go, hey, I know that kid.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, the Cardinals stink.
Well,
Mizzou basketball was awful this year.
Yeah, they weren't too good.
The Chiefs at least won the Super Bowl.
That's right.
Who are we going to root for moving forward? Anybody we need to be on the lookout for? I know one.
Well, the Blue Devils always.
Well, you're a diehard Blue Devil fan.
That's right.
Quincy High School graduate, season ticket holder for Blue Devil basketball. It's been in the family since 1961, correct?
I think so. Yeah.
I think that's the way. Your parents bought season tickets at Blue Devil Gym, bought 3 seats under the north basket.
And we were fortunate enough that before they passed on, there was a year where the school let them pass them on to somebody. And then when they redid the gym, and you had to go pick out your seats, ours was still pretty much the same ones. Not exactly, but pretty close to the same.
And those 3 tickets remain in our family.
Yep.
And they will for as long as I can make that happen.
Yep. So,
which is a neat thing.
And you weren't very big when you...
No, I started going to games when I was 5. I remember that. I remember, 1978 was the first season I went to games. And we talk about the 1981 team that won the state title, and Bruce Douglas and Michael Payne and all that great stuff. But it was Chucky Robinson was the first player that I loved as a Blue Devil, because that would have been the first year or two that I went to games. And Chucky Robinson was my favorite Blue Devil from at that moment. Obviously, Bruce and Michael became those guys, and I've been fortunate to cover Blue Devil basketball my entire career.
And your sister, who was a class of 81.
81, yep.
Got you, or had Michael Payne autograph a program for you.
He took the program into the locker room, and every player, the Blue Devil and the coaches all signed it. I still have it.
Yeah.
I still have all my Blue Devil memorabilia from growing up.
And then the night of her initiation into the National Honor Society,
Yep.
my babysitter let me down.
Yep.
And I had to take you to and threatened you with your life if you misbehaved during the ceremony. I probably wouldn't have to threaten you because she said if you behaved, she'd introduce you to Michael Payne.
And I was an angel that night because of that. And I still remember looking up at him. He would lean on the top of the locker. And, you know, I was a little 8-year-old going, wow, it's Michael Payne.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. It's kind of funny now to look back on those things.
Yes, it is.
Well, awesome. Well, thank you for joining me on Schuck on a Truck. I hope you have a wonderful Mother's Day.
Well, thank you. I will.
You may see me on Mother's Day as well.
I better.
You bet.
No,
I guess that's a threat.
No, I know you might have something to cover. I
No.
understand that.
I will always come see my mom on Mother's Day. Well, and other days of the week, too.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Love you, Mom.
Love you too, hon.
For Shottenkirk Toyota, for bringing us Schuck on a Truck, I'm Muddy River Sports Editor Matt Schuckman. This is my mom. This has been another episode of Schuck on a Truck.
Muddy River Sports. Our home, our sports.